Hey, this is Brittany Wagner with Last Chance U, and you're listening to Out of Bounds Detroit Sports.
If I get drunk, well, I'll pass out on the floor now, baby. You won't bother me no more. And if you're drinking, well, you know that you're my friend, and I'll say, I think I'll have myself a beer.
Yeah, welcome. Out of Bounds Detroit Sports. David Faze is not here. I don't know if you noticed.
The ghost.
An empty chair over there. That voice you just heard is Geoff Mell, and I, of course, am Dan Griffin, and we are invading your ear hole, as always, on sportsradiodetroit.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever the hell you listen to podcasts. And thank you for joining us on Facebook Live. Trying something new, doing it on the SRD page.
Yeah, why not?
See what happens. Did you share it from our show page?
I did.
All right.
I'm all over it.
Maybe get a couple viewers.
Yep.
It's unlikely.
You never know.
Dave's out sick tonight.
It's a crapshoot.
Dave's got the sniffles. Are they the same sniffles that you had?
Maybe. I don't know, man. It is the worst cold season for me. I've had like 3 colds so far. It's not even February.
I haven't gotten sick yet. I'm going to knock on wood.
It's been terrible, man. Like in my house, I got, Alex, and then I got my buddy Kurt, who's our roommate, and it's like I get sick, then Alex gets sick, then Kurt gets sick, then I get sick again, and it just starts.
Well, that's because Alex gets sick because she's got the immune system of a 95-year-old woman.
Yeah, but she's been getting as sick as I am. Like I've been getting equally as sick, which sucks.
She's allergic to everything. Balsa wood.
Yep. Maybe not balsa wood, but
am I allowed to say these things?
I don't care.
I'm just talking shit about your lady on the.
She knows she's allergic to everything.
Now the world knows.
Yeah, it doesn't stop her from living her life.
14 people that listen to this podcast. Anyway, even without Dave here tonight, and I'm sure he would love to partake in the conversation this evening because it's still pretty serious here, and we're going to start the show on a very serious note, and that's because the Nassar saga fucking continues.
Yeah, it doesn't end. And by the way, wonderful interview with Ryan on Monday.
I'm telling you, and if you're listening to this episode and you didn't have a chance to hear Ryan Schuling from the Schuling Report on our show on Monday, Ryan spent basically all the time that he could in the courtroom listening to the testimonies of Larry Nassar survivors. And he was there. I mean, he got to see the emotions on these young women's face. What's going on with what the hell's her name? The judge. I keep forgetting her name.
Oh man, you put me on the spot. I don't remember.
But she's an animal, and in a good way.
She's awesome.
She said, "You know what, motherfucker? You're going to sit there and you're going to listen to every single one of these young women that wants to come speak."
All right.
This show's working?
Yeah, it's working.
Working on Facebook.
There's this weird glitch, which is funny. It's like there's like a visually we're just like skipping.
But the audio
is good.
All right. Well, that's all that matters. People can hear our ridiculous opinions and what we have to say. But the Nassar situation continues in ways that are unfathomable at Michigan State University. I mean, This has gotten to a point now where even Luana K. Simon and her resignation letter are incredibly trite and lacking empathy, even though she says some things in that resignation letter that would lead you to believe that she's empathetic in some way. But for me personally, the whole thing hit a little bit closer to home when I was watching the testimony on Tuesday, because it turns out that I am actually a personal friend of one of these young women.
Yeah.
And when I saw her...
Well, odds are.
On TV... Yeah, there's so many of them, right?
Right.
When I saw her on TV, it hit close to home. And we've actually invited her to be on the show with us, and in which she is game to do so as soon as possible. She's told me, but still some civil litigation going on at this time.
Stupid legality.
So she's got to check with the attorneys first, and that's all well and good. And she's welcome to be on this show and share her story and say anything that she wants. Use our show as a platform if she chooses. whatever she wants to do. And she's welcome on this show anytime, and hopefully we'll get her on as soon as possible. The victim that I speak of, I'm allowed to use her name now because it's public record. Abby Bergeron is the one that I am a personal friend with. She's a camp, a fellow summer camp goer, and I know I've talked about camp on this show more than once and how important it is to me. And I know a lot of the listeners, y'all don't give a fuck, and that's fine. Most of my friends don't give a fuck either. But here's the thing: my summer camp is it's a second family to me. And so when you go to this camp, whether I'm close with you or not, you're like a family member to me. So when I see her on TV, giving her testimony, telling her story, being strong, being brave, and all the things that she does best from what I know about her, it was like seeing my sister up there.
Yeah,
that's the feeling that I got. And when I first saw her speaking to the judge and telling her story about the atrocities committed against her by Larry Nassar, I was enraged for a few minutes there, watching her break down and tell her story. But at the end of it, I almost felt happy. And the reason for that is because when Abby was done telling her story and the judge looks at her and tells her how brave she is and about how it's not her fault, and about how it's not her parents' fault, you can almost look at her and just see this weight lift off of this young woman's shoulders, as if she can put the pain of this behind her now and move on to use her experience to help others. That's what I gathered from what she said and the way that she reacted once she finally got all of that off of her chest. And listening to Abby tell her story about how her father was a former detective and a retired police officer, and about how the entire time while she was being treated by Larry Nassar, that her dad knew something was wrong the whole time. It seemed like.
Yeah.
And it's one of those situations where we look at this and the guy was a doctor. Your job as a medical professional is to heal people. And people are supposed to trust you to be able to heal them. Or parents are supposed to trust you to be able to heal their child. That's what Abby's parents were doing. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
And it's not any of their fault. And I can only imagine what it's like to be a father and knowing what I would know now, what went on this entire time. It would be indescribable, because I know how pissed I was, how I felt just watching her testimony on the screen. Imagine if that was my daughter that was there.
It's terrible. It's when things hit. I mean, you don't feel things until they hit close to home. Like I use the car accident analogy before the show. Mm-hmm. It's like car accidents happen all the time. People die in car accidents. You see them on the news all the time. You see them on the side of the road all the time. But when yourself or somebody you know closely gets into a terrible car accident and that light flashes and that pounding in your chest comes in, that something real has happened to somebody close to you, it's a completely different feeling than being on the outside. Like, I don't know any of these girls. I don't know the girl. I don't know Abby personally like you do. I don't know any of these girls. I don't think. I mean, I didn't actually go through the 200 names or whatever the Free Press printed, but I can imagine that it definitely is. It's hitting such a large community of people. I mean, it's like...
Well, if you consider 6 degrees of separation...
That's what I'm saying. And you go off of, 200 women? Not to mention all the people who were friends and family of Larry Nassar and who believed he was a good person prior to all this. Like, just imagine being, a family member of his and having to watch all those girls go up and say that your family member, somebody that you love, did that to all those women. I mean, it must crush them as well.
And here's I think we touched on a little bit with Ryan on Monday. The thing that makes it hit so much closer is that it's like so many of these stories are different. There are similarities between them, but they're all nuanced in different ways, and it just lets you know what an incredibly sick and twisted individual Larry Nassar was. But before we move on to the outrage at Michigan State, I just want to say, that publicly, Abby, this show supports you. You're absolutely welcome to come on this show anytime and use this platform in any way that you choose. And tell
him to go fuck himself if you want.
We're here. We're with you. And here's what I know. And here's what I know about Abby. Just a little bit that I do know about her. She's going to be just fine. That girl is strong. She's beautiful. She is smart. Incredibly, she has an incredible amount of potential. And she clearly has a family that cares about her. So I know Abby's going to be just fine. And I hope that she, if she wants to, she doesn't hesitate to use the platform that she has now to help a young lady that may have been in a similar situation as her, and maybe is a little bit afraid to come out. I think, and that goes for any of these survivors. If any of you are out there listening and you want to come on this show, you've got an open invitation.
Yeah, of course.
Just hit us up on Facebook or tweet at us at @OB_deadsports. We're more than willing to get your story out there if that's what you want. If you don't want it, you want to ride off into the sunset, that's absolutely your prerogative. You have the right to do that.
I'm happy that this guy's going to go to prison for the rest of his life. Hope he likes prison food and penis, because he's going to get a whole lot of it. Maybe not for that long of a time, because he might be dead within a couple months.
That's true.
They might beat him to death.
Well, he's going to be segregated from the population
for a while.
There's no way.
And then he's going to get put into general pop eventually, and pound it out.
You fuck with kids. And here's the thing: it continues to get worse for Michigan State.
Oh yeah,
it just keeps piling on. Well, first you had Joel Ferguson the other day.
Oh yeah, those idiotic comments.
That son of a bitch.
He laughed in the middle of those comments.
If you haven't heard, I tried to find the audio, but it's been wiped from the internet.
Yeah, I don't know where it went.
He was on Michigan radio, right?
Yeah.
On one of the NPR stations. Joel Ferguson goes on the radio, and he's being asked about the potential of Luana K. Simon, first of all, resigning, but then being asked about the potential of an NCAA investigation in this, and he laughs. And he talks about all the great things that Luana K. Simon has done for Michigan State University, and says, and I quote, "There's more than just this Nassar thing."
Yeah. As if...
Is there a more dismissive way to...
Nobody gives a fuck about any other things right now. It's like, do you not understand that? We get it. You have a whole university to run, and no one gives a shit about any of that. It's about making this right now. How do they not understand that?
It's not even about...
These are supposed to be adults. They're supposed to be leaders. They're supposed to be the ones in charge. If you're going to take credit for all the money you bring in, you have to take credit for the terrible things that were done under your watch. I don't get why they don't understand this.
That's what comes with the territory of essentially being a CEO.
I'm a 30-year-old idiot, and I understand that this is how it works. And these people are in their 60s and 70s and have no idea about what's going on.
Well, when it comes to Joel Ferguson and many of the other trustees at Michigan State, and it's not just Michigan State. I mean, I'm sure most trustees at most big-name universities with big-name athletic programs have the same school of thought as the trustees at Michigan State. I'm not going to try and make this out to be a Michigan State thing, but this just goes to show you how much athletics trumps education and student safety at universities. When Joel Ferguson, all he wants to do is talk about, have you seen the new Breslin Center? Have you seen all of the revenue that Luana K. Simon and Mark Hollis have been able to bring in to this university? What are they talking about? They're talking about sports, is what they're talking about. I mean, you've got 3 former Michigan State athletes on that board of trustees.
Yeah.
What do you think the school cares about? And again, it's not just a Michigan State thing.
It's whatever makes you money. Whatever makes you money.
So so what you're going to do is you're going to sweep, 200 plus, not even women at the time, little girls, under the rug because, she brings in revenue. And Mark Hollis brings in revenue.
Yep.
That's what matters. That's where we are right now.
Of course, that's where we are. They are a machine. They are robots. There's one program they've been set to do, and that's make money for the university in whatever way, shape, or form they can. And then when a actual piece of information that you have to have, feelings for, like a human being, empathy and sympathy, they don't have any. And they have one-track minds. It's absolutely incredible. What goes on at these these are higher education, right? Like people go, I went to X college, and because I went and got an education there, I am, let's say, smarter than the rest who didn't get an education. And then you go and look at the dumbasses that are running these organizations and these colleges, and you go, what the fuck's going on? Is there a disconnect here? All the intelligent people that we've pumped out of here? How do these people get to power? I don't understand. They're just good at making money? They're just business people, apparently.
I guess. And that's all that matters. And here's the thing. Here's how you know. And it's so the thing that boggles my mind is that we have discussed this Nassar story basically since it dropped. Right at the very beginning with the first accuser, on and off when it's been in the news or should be in the news. We've had people on here. We've had Ryan on here a couple of times just talking about this situation. We're outsiders and we get it. And the lack of transparency, even with the way this is being reported in the media by Michigan State University, the lack of transparency just continues.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, the sentencing's over, and it's still going on. Luana K. Simon finally steps down last night, and the letter, and I know there's been a lot of public backlash about this letter already. The letter to the Board of Trustees for her to tenure her resignation is the most trite, callous, unfeeling piece of literature I have read in a considerable amount of time.
Yeah.
Because Luana K. Simon's letter, essentially, I'll just give you the bullet points here.
Paraphrase.
Is that what I gathered from this letter, and you can find it. It's available online if you search for it. What I gathered out of Luana K. Simon's statement is that she basically takes no responsibility for any of this. She comes out and she says, well, I was going to retire in December of 2016, but then, to quote Joel Ferguson, this Nassar thing came up. So I decided to stick around and try and fix this. And by the way, what has she done since then?
Yeah.
And then she goes out and she says, well, as president of the university, I understand that I'm going to take a brunt of the backlash for this situation, which is why I haven't really come out and said anything publicly. Oh, really, bitch? How ass backwards is that? That's the fucking first thing that you do. I'm going to tell you one thing right now. Michigan State University is very lucky that Mark D'Antonio is their head football coach.
Oh, yeah.
More lucky, I'm going to say this, more lucky now after this than they ever were before, and it's got nothing to do with what they do on the field. Because can you imagine how much worse this would be if Michigan State had a head football coach that had the exact same sexual assault allegations that football program dealt with over the summer, and he didn't, and D'Antonio, I'm sorry, the coach didn't handle it the way that D'Antonio did, Because D'Antonio handled that situation almost perfectly. Only thing he did wrong really was maybe waiting a little too long to come out and say something. But it's like I said on Monday, if that was his biggest flaw in that situation, I can live with that.
Yeah.
He went straight to the authorities. Can you imagine if those 3 players were still on that Michigan State roster after all this shit went down just now?
It'd be terrible.
It'd be tenfold worse.
Yep.
And here we sit with Luana K. Simon's trite letter to the Board of Trustees, who I still don't think get it.
No. And today there was some articles out. Like Deadspin put on an article, Michigan State delayed sending Nassar files to the Department of Education, tried to end federal oversight.
In other words, they're hiding documents.
Yeah. Michigan State administrators in 2014 did not notify federal officials that the university had dual Title IX and campus police investigations of Nassar underway, even though federal investigators were on campus that year scrutinizing how MSU dealt with sexual assault allegations.
Interesting.
MSU administrators still have not provided to federal officials all documents related to the Nassar investigations or allegations.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is today, right?
Mm-hmm.
The same day that the Luana K. Simon stuff comes out, right?
Mm-hmm.
In her statement, let's see. Let's see. I know there's a pretty good quote that
from her letter?
From her letter.
From her resignation letter?
As Nassar's legal journey to prison was drawing to a close, more and more negative attention was focused on Michigan State University and on me. I am pleased that statements have been made by Mr. Fitzgerald and board members about my integrity and the fact that there is no cover-up. Yet, the same day, it is found out that they were delaying and withholding documents. So yeah, there's definitely a cover-up. Not a cover-up, just a push aside.
So here's the thing when it comes to Luana K. Simon. Either she knew and was involved in a cover-up, or she's just fucking incompetent.
Yeah.
Either way...
Or they were just like,
good riddance, bitch.
Go get donations.
Yeah. Either way, good riddance, bitch.
Yeah.
She was just maybe just a figurehead of some kind.
Yeah, basically. A face. It's pretty ridiculous.
Dude, that letter, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that she didn't even hint at taking any semblance of responsibility.
No.
And on the same day that Deadspin's out, and Deadspin usually gets it pretty good.
Yeah, and I don't think Deadspin's the only one.
I'm sure they're
I think
not.
that was just the first one.
Secondary source.
That was just the first one that I found, yeah.
Yeah, so that's coming up. You've got the Bill Schuette investigation. I mean, this is far from over.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot more going down.
When it comes to how culpable Michigan State is. I mean, there are reports coming out that 14 different staff members at Michigan State knew that this was going on over the course of almost whatever it was, about 2 decades almost, about 14 years, or maybe a little more than that, close to 2 decades. 14 different staff members knew about this and didn't think to
do anything about it.
See, that's where you look at Mark D'Antonio and you go, this is a man of just simple intelligence. You hear about sexual assault, you go to the fucking police.
No, he just oozes integrity. That's what it is. The guy,
he is the saving grace at university right now. Because even Izzo's comments about Luana K.
kind of weird.
Yeah,
they were kind of weird.
Like, and people love Tom Izzo, and I get that.
D'Antonio is the personified version of integrity.
He is.
It's incredible.
He's gonna hold that university afloat at this point. It's getting to one of those.
Not only is he putting the team on the back, he's putting the university on the back.
Putting the whole school on his back.
Yep.
And he's the one that doesn't have to come out and say a damn thing.
And it just sucks. I mean, it sucks for all Michigan State people. I know there's going to be dicks like when football season comes around.
Michigan fan dickheads?
Dickheads.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, we
don't associate with those people.
This so transcends that. You know
this
what
isn't
I mean?
about sports. This is not about football.
This isn't about what you watch on Saturday or what you watch on a Monday and a Wednesday when you're watching the basketball team. It has nothing to do with that at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these are people at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the scale of this thing, I was talking to Roger over the weekend. He asked me, do you think this is worse than Penn State? And what I responded with was, the crime is about the same. I mean, how do you equate that? You know what I mean? I mean, you know, child molestation is child molestation, basically.
Yeah.
But based on scale, it's way worse than Penn State. Based on scale, based on the number of young women that, and these are just the ones that have come forward.
Yeah.
Could there be more? Hell yeah, there could be more.
Of course.
There could be twice as many. I mean, we're talking about 400 girls in that case.
And the good thing for those women that didn't, you know, they haven't necessarily come forward, or that we haven't heard from them. The good thing is justice has been served, and that many of the women have helped speak for them. You know, they were, you know, even if you didn't get to go up there and say, hey, I was also a victim of these crimes, the women that told him to go fuck himself, that he's going straight to hell, that his death warrant was just signed, all that is for you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to say it. It's been said for you. And that's the nice part, is that everybody, I think everybody has these women's back in this. It's just so fucked up. It's so close to home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's an hour away. Fuck. This isn't in Texas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
and,
right
I mean,
here.
You know,
People you know. Who you went to school with. Your family members.
somebody that I know personally.
This guy's gonna.
Here's the other thing too. I forgot to mention this, because a lot of the survivors that spoke addressed Larry Nassar directly.
Yeah.
And said a whole cornucopia of different things to him. You're gonna rot in hell. Basically,
I fucking hate you.
Fuck you. You know, a lot of things that would be considered terrible things to say to somebody if it wasn't Larry Nassar. But one of the things that I took out of Abby's testimony was she didn't really address Nassar. I think she spoke to him directly, maybe for a second, and I thought to myself, I like that she did it that way.
Yeah.
You know why? Because, and I don't know what her thought process was. I'd like to find out what it was. But what I thought was that, why give him the time of day?
Exactly.
Why? I'm here to tell my story and what happened to me.
And you can go burn in hell.
And I don't need to address you. There's no reason for me to address you.
Exactly.
So I enjoyed that she. I honestly kind of enjoyed that she did it that way.
You could do it either way.
Yeah.
You can look him right
There's
in the
no
eye.
wrong way to do it. Trust me.
Look him right in the eye and tell him to go fuck himself, or you can not give him the time of day and make him feel like a giant piece of shit. Both work wonderfully.
I can't believe he actually tried to come out and say that this is cruel and unusual punishment.
No, what I think they should do
Get the
is
fuck
run
outta
a
here, dude.
never-ending loop of those in his cell. Now that's cruel and unusual punishment.
There you go.
But that would be fucking great. And make him be naked with nothing so he can't kill himself. He just has to listen. Until he goes crazy and pulls his, pops his eardrums on his own. God, I wish the worst for you, Larry Nassar.
Yeah,
it's worst.
Tough. And dude, I've often said about child molesters, in a strange way, I find them fascinating, and the reason is because you just don't understand it.
No, they're mentally ill, and their mind works in a super. It's just like when you watch like murder shows and stuff.
Or like your fascination with the history of like learning about Adolf Hitler. Like, how could somebody's mind work that way?
Yeah.
Like, I have to know. I have to figure this out.
Serial killers, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's the same way with child molesters. How could a person's brain work that way? Like, I can barely look at a 20-year-old girl and be like, yeah.
Right.
Like, let alone going below that.
Yep.
So I don't know. He's going
right,
to be. Well, we know that his part of this saga is over.
Yeah.
But this saga is far from over with regards to the Olympic Committee and with regards to Michigan State University.
And the money and the civil suits that are going to be flying around in these next couple months.
Oh yeah, That's not going to be fun for Michigan State, is it?
No, they're going to pay a fucking $1 billion.
Can't believe that one chick was still getting a bill.
They're going to pay a fucking $1 billion out to these women.
This is going to shut this university down.
Who knows? It fucking could.
Should we probably shouldn't be surprised if it does.
Nope.
It won't.
It won't, but
they'll be all right.
Too many donors to keep it afloat, but
this healing process is going to take a considerable amount of time.
We got the heavy stuff out of the way.
We did. It needed to be said.
Now it's goof troop going forward.
And we like to fuck around on this show, but when real shit happens, we're going to talk about it. That's what we do.
Other Detroit sports podcasts may not do it.
That's true.
Don't get them confused.
You're listening to Out of Bounds Detroit Sports. Absentee David Faze, Geoff Mell, and myself, Dan Griffin, sportsradiodetroit.com. Do not go away.
There's nothing holding me back. There's nothing holding me back. She says that she's never afraid. Just picture everybody naked. She really doesn't like to wait.
Hey, this is Darren McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champion with the Detroit Red Wings. You're listening to Out of Bounds Detroit Sports on sportsradiodetroit.com.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Yeah, welcome back. Out of Bounds Detroit Sports. Absentee David Faze. Oops, I'm turning my mic down. I should be turning it up. There we go. Absentee David Faze. I think we should get a David Faze blow-up doll and just set it in the chair when Dave's not here.
That'd be entertaining.
Especially since we're on Facebook Live. And not only are we on Facebook Live, but we're also invading your ear hole, as always. SportsRadioDetroit.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever the hell you listen to podcasts. And please, wherever you're listening, leave us a rating, leave us a review, like us on Facebook, check us out on Twitter at @OB_DetSports, and go to SportsRadioDetroit.com if you haven't yet. If you're still just listening to our show, I can tell you there's others that you'll enjoy on SportsRadioDetroit.com. Got your niche. We got Tigers SRD, Roger and C. Breezy still going strong. Lions SRD getting a new host, I believe, is what I saw earlier today on Facebook. Is that what I saw?
Yeah, I believe so.
You see that? Is Ben stepping away? Is this permanent? I don't know.
I
mean, Ben's a busy guy, so I get it.
Ben has changed from doing Lions and the road show to now doing all the hockey games.
That's right. That's right. Because SRD's getting out there, doing some stuff, making some moves,
doing things.
That's right. So go to sportsradiodetroit.com. Some more written content should be coming shortly. A lot of other great shows. It's not all about us, even though we'd like it to be.
We'd like it to be. But not all about us.
Oh, come on. We know if Roger had a choice of one show that he's going to carry with him to the end of time, it's going to be our show.
It's possible.
And Roger, if that's not true, keep it to yourself. Anyway, we finally got past the deep stuff in segment 1.
Yeah,
I feel like we needed to get through. I think it's good when we start with that. What do you think? Because then we can just kind of have the rest of the show to be weird.
Yeah, and say whatever the fuck we want.
That's right. I mean, we should approach it that way from now on whenever possible. Let's get the serious stuff out of the way first. The important stuff out of the way first. Get out of the way as if it doesn't matter or something. Let's do the important things first. We work first and then we play. How's that?
That works.
Let's do it that way. We were just checking out the NFL skills competition.
Yeah, that was awesome.
While we were on break there, took us a little while to get back because of it. But not only were we watching the NFL skills competition for the Pro Bowl, but we were also discussing a comeback that's being made. And no, I'm not speaking about Johnny Manziel to the CFL, but possibly Johnny Manziel to
the XFL.
The XFL. Yes, the XFL making a comeback. If you're a sports person or you like follow or you've been on Yahoo in the past 8 hours, you've seen this already. It's making waves throughout the interwebs, and for some reason, I don't know why, Geoff. For some reason, I'm mildly intrigued to see what this new version of the XFL will be about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sick kind of person, so any more football that we can get is good with me. You can use that second one, is the one from today.
Oh, the Vince McMahon thing?
Yeah.
You've already got it pulled up, though, don't you? But you're not plugged in.
I am plugged in. You can do it. I have to go through my tabs to find out. You have it right there.
But finish your thought.
I love football, and of course I'm going to watch. Especially if they say they're getting rid of the gimmicks.
Yeah,
that it's going to be more traditional football, but with these tricks, I guess. With they're letting the fans choose. Basically, what I got from Vince McMahon is he has no idea what the fuck he's doing. He just decided that he's going to make a new football league because of this enfranchisement with the NFL right now.
I think that's a smart play.
Like, ooh, the ratings are down, and then they're going to go, and then we're going to try to swoop in and grab them.
I mean, it's probably going to crash and burn and fail miserably again, but, I mean, if there was going to be a time to make a play on people that are pissed off about the product on the field in the NFL, it's probably now. So I think Vince has got decent timing, and here's the other thing. The XFL is coming back in 2020. So there's a couple of things to note about that. First of all, the first time that Vince McMahon tried to start a football league, they threw the shit together. I mean, he made an announcement, and it was like 6 months later these guys were on the field.
Yeah.
Now he's given himself a little bit of time, but here's the genius of it. You know what ends in 2020?
The CBA?
The CBA. The NFL CBA.
I just took a wild guess at that, but I had a pretty good idea.
And it's true. So what Vince may be banking on here, maybe being able to swipe a little bit of talent from the NFL, even if only for a short while.
No, I don't think he's going to be able to swipe any talent.
Even low-end talent in the NFL?
Yeah. Players 40 through 52. But you're not going to get any of the top talent in the NFL.
Not even if we're talking about an NFL player strike?
No, I don't think so.
You're probably right. But one can dream, right?
You can dream. I mean, I just don't see them swiping to go to a different league. I don't see the XFL competing with the NFL for any sort of top-end talent. The fact they're going to have, 8 teams and they're going to basically play 10 games, and it's it's going to be like in the summer. They're not going to have the money. I mean, who are these owners? What kind of cap are they going to have on their rosters? I think they're only going to have 40 guys.
40 guys, yep.
Oh, what the fuck are you doing?
8 cities starting in the season's supposed to begin
like the top
in January of 2020.
The top end players might get paid what, $10 million a year?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see how that works.
You're just going to go. You're basically going to try to grab talent from like Arena Football and Canadian Football League. That's about it. And you're going to get the college kids who are just like on the cusp of being signed.
You think they might get some NFL practice squad guys?
Yeah, and honestly, it might even be a farm system for the NFL. You might see some guys who are pretty good in the XFL given shots on rosters in the NFL.
Well, I mean,
based on their production.
It's happened with every other league that's tried to compete with the NFL. I mean, the USFL was the only one that really was a true competitor of the NFL. And the only thing that fucked over the USFL was the fact that Donald Trump was an asshole. Not much has changed.
No.
But he had to move. He had to compete directly with the NFL and move from summer to fall, and that was the downfall of the USFL. It was a really successful summer football league. It really was. I mean, the guys like Herschel Walker, Jim Kelly, Steve Young played in the USFL. Like good Hall of Fame players, Hall of Fame players that played in the USFL. So I don't think The problem is that the NFL today, compared to the NFL in 1982,
yes, exactly,
is much more of a monster. But I gotta say, I give respect to Vince for doing this,
because I think that Jerry Jones paid like $400,000 for his team in like the early '80s or late '70s or whatever,
late '90s or late '80s,
late '80s,
yeah.
And now it's worth like $1 billion. I mean, it's a completely different. You're talking a whole different ball game.
The inflation has been exponentially more than traditional inflation.
Yeah, and I'd be excited to see where they play. Like how many people they can get in
and
the
that's the thing
stadium.
too. You got to pick the right cities. Like I think trying out a team in a city like, I don't know, Portland might be a good spot for an XFL team. You got to try some of these bigger cities that don't have NFL teams.
Milwaukee.
Memphis.
Yeah, Milwaukee. Maybe put a team in Bama.
That might be all right.
You know?
That might, like Birmingham.
Yeah.
That might be all right. You might get some folks to show up to the games.
You know, or like maybe even states that are predominantly college football but don't have a pro team. Like Nebraska, you know, they're a big football state, but they don't have a pro team. Oklahoma,
Ohio,
right? The middle of Ohio.
That's football country. They don't have a pro team.
Columbus. Yeah. I mean, regionally they have two, but they don't have a football team.
They don't have a pro team.
No.
I got to give respect to Vince for this one because he's got the cachet. And the XFL did a lot of things right the first time. They really did, like more things than you realize for a league that only lasted 1 year. Think of the innovations that came out of the XFL. There were more than a few. Certain rules were adopted from the XFL. The whatchamacallit, the camera that's on the bungee cord, some of the camera angles were adopted from the XFL.
I feel like that was more of like, all right, we have this experimental football league, so let's use experimental tactics in it.
But a lot of it worked.
And then so some of it that worked carried over to the NFL. That's Skycam. I love that you can go on like the national championship game from
Skycam. That's what I was
from
talking
ESPN,
about.
And there's 20 different versions of the game you can watch. Have you seen that?
For like the national championship
Yeah, for like
game?
the national championship game.
Yeah, there's like Homer Cast. Like
yeah,
if you're a Bama fan.
Yeah, you can go to which one you want. You can
that was like a burp fart.
You
Did
can
you
go
hear that?
you can go to like the coach's view, and it has like it's like a tape version of the game that like you would watch on tape to study it.
Yeah,
and there's no announcers. There's like the Skycam one where it's like swinging around all over the field for the whole game. I mean,
I would enjoy that.
Yeah,
I would enjoy a game that was completely broadcast on Skycam.
Yeah,
that might be fun to watch for a minute.
Now, do you want to play the Vince thing? Or are you going to play that?
Yeah. I forgot about it.
Yeah, just go back.
You didn't mean this one, did you?
No, you turned it down. No, it's just certainly not that one.
Well, the over-the-topness started right there.
Yeah.
Oh, this was of course we have to watch a Dr. fucking Scholl's ad.
Stupid fucking ad. Now skip it. Skip it.
Oh, can I skip it now?
Yep.
I love when it gives you that option.
Yep. Oh, please be the video.
I don't think this is it. Maybe this one's it. Oh, there it is.
Will kick off in 2020. And quite frankly, we're going to give the game of football back to fans.
No, this isn't the video.
No, it's like a...
Oh, this one. This one's from ESPN.
The new XFL will kick off in 2020. And quite frankly, we're going to give the game of football back to fans. I'm sure everyone has a lot of questions for me, but I also have a lot of questions.
Does he push his voice, or does he really sound that way?
No, that's the wrestling TV voice that's just stuck with him.
Ingrained in him.
Yeah.
Coaches, we're going to listen to medical experts, technology executives, members of the media, and anyone else who understands and loves the game of football. But most importantly, we're going to be listening to fans. So I would ask that, the question of what would you do if you could reimagine the game of professional football? Would you, for instance, eliminate halftime?
Why does he lead with that? Why does he
lead? Would the game of football be
eliminate halftime?
Faster? Would the rules be simpler? The new XFL will be fan-centric, with all the things you like to see and less of the things you don't. And no doubt, a lot of innovations along the way. We will present a shorter, faster paced, family friendly, and easier to understand game. Don't get me wrong, it's still football, but it's professional football reimagined. Since we're launching in 2020, we have 2 years, which is plenty of time to really get it right. We intend to start conservatively with
Vince
8
got
teams,
jokes.
40-man rosters, a 10-game regular season, and postseason featuring 2 semifinals, and of course, a championship game. Now, what about the players?
Really? You're going to have a championship
As you know,
game, Vince?
there's a
Well done.
wealth of talented players that we can draw from, but
And
in
a quarter of the
XFL,
league is gonna play in that
the
game.
Human being is going to be as important as the quality of the player. Our approach to presenting games will be multi-platform, which will allow us to engage fans and customize the viewing experience in ways that were never imaginable just a few years ago. You'll be able to watch the XFL on big screens, mobile devices, and everything in between.
Just like anything else?
Thank you again for joining us. We appreciate your interest, and if you have any ideas, please send them along our way because we are listening. The new XFL will be
Oh, can you imagine some of the things that are going to show up in that inbox?
Well, we got one already.
I know!
We got one already.
And it ties into the NFL skills competition for the Pro Bowl. We got great ideas for the XFL. We should get involved with Vince.
Yes.
We should get in on this.
I got to give Vince a call.
Let's do it.
Yeah. We'll talk to him soon. He's a friend of the show.
Friend of the show, Vince McMahon. We got to get on this because we've got ideas. Yeah. First of all, the coin toss, because this is the less interesting one. We're watching the NFL skills competition, and they're playing the annual dodgeball game.
Yep.
That's how you decide the coin toss.
Very small court, 3 on 3.
Yeah.
This thing will be over in 5 minutes. And you let these guys swing balls at each other. It's like a game before the game. It's an appetizer.
I love it. And it's a lot less dangerous than the idiotic way the XFL did it the first time, where 2 dudes ran full speed and smashed into each other to try and claim the football.
But there's still entertainment value to it.
And it's still physical contact, which we know America needs.
Plus, it's competition, right? It's not just the luck of the flip of the coin.
Why the fuck are we not pitchmen?
I don't know.
All the time.
Now, the second one, which is my favorite idea, is...
Are there any real questions?
We watched the skills competition, and it was a kicker's game. And it was
yes, this one's good.
Tic-tac-toe. 2 kickers faced off head-to-head in a grid uprights, and they had to beat each other in tic-tac-toe. Now, what we were saying was, you don't have to play like a tic-tac-toe for it, but have the grid and have each box designated with more points. The closer you are, let's say, to the upright is like 1 point. And then like the 2, the upper and bottom one are 2 points, and right through the middle is 3 points.
Here's the thing. I feel like you could really only do that with extra points.
Yeah, you can do it with regular field goals.
But if you did it with extra points and you still had the same, even if you still had the same traditional extra point from before the NFL moved it back, like a college extra point, it would still be interesting. Because here's the thing. If you're down by 9, you can go down and tie the game.
Yeah, you could.
I like this idea.
I like it as well. You know what, another thing? 4 points for 50 yards or more. 5 points for 60 yards or more.
Now you're using the old brain pan.
Now, if you're down by 4 points, you don't just have to score a touchdown. You could attempt to kick a field goal from 50 yards or more out. Huh?
I can dig it.
It's genius.
That idea ain't worth a velvet painting of a whale and a dolphin getting it on.
Could you imagine quarterbacks who
I don't know if people can tell we're serious or not.
Yeah,
I'd like to leave it that way.
Yeah. I mean, there's part of me that is serious.
I know.
And part of me that's not.
Just because, let's just have fun with it.
Yeah. Make it as entertaining as possible.
But wait a minute.
It'd be like another basketball league having like a 4-point line.
Because it's still competition. Like the way the XFL brought about gimmicks the first time around, like those first. We were having this conversation before we started the show. The first couple of weeks of the NFL, the XFL, besides the stupid way they did the coin toss and the no fair catches.
Yeah.
The way that it was broadcast was pretty legitimate football.
Think about the XFL before CTE. Think about how
I know.
ridiculous it was before CTE. The ideas that they had and the things they made the players do for minimal bucks compared to the NFL is absolutely ridiculous.
But most of the other stuff was pretty legitimate football.
You can't fair catch. The guy can literally just smoke you.
But you know what started happening? The punt returners just started letting the ball drop.
Yeah, they just wouldn't touch the ball.
Yeah, just don't touch the ball because you're going to get fucking killed.
Yeah, exactly. Keep your head down at all times.
But if it wasn't for one moron forgetting to put gas in a generator, that league might have lasted a few more years.
Yeah.
Because the greatest game in XFL history was an overtime game. It was like both teams scored in the fucking 40s, and then it blacked out. And then after that, the ratings fell huge. Because if you remember, the first week of ratings for the XFL were actually pretty fucking good.
Not bad.
A lot of people watched that shit.
Well, yeah, because everyone was curious.
Yeah. And then it fell drastically in the second week.
I mean, come on. Can we get a team in Detroit so we can have a winning product on the field? Could you imagine?
You said it, not me.
Could you imagine if Detroit got a team in the inaugural season of the XFL, they went to the championship and won? You
do realize that's happened already, right?
Yeah, with the Panthers.
The Michigan Panthers.
Yes.
In the inaugural year of the USFL.
But I'm talking about that now. After, that was what? 20 years ago?
Oh, it was more than that.
Yeah.
83?
35 years ago?
Yeah.
And 35 years ago, it's like, oh, yeah, we haven't won a Super Bowl in 15 years.
Well, they've never won the Super Bowl.
Or, we haven't won a championship in 15 years.
Down the field again, Aaron Rodgers wins on Tampa. Lions.
Now you extrapolate that to nowadays, and it's 50-plus years. People are dying for a winner in this town.
It's almost 60 years, Geoff.
Almost 60 years. Man.
Love it.
My dad is fuck. He's only a few years old when they won that first championship.
Wait a minute. It's over 60 years now, isn't it? 57? I can't do math.
57 would be what?
Don't ask me.
43 years. And then 17 more. So it is 60 years on the dot.
No.
We're going into 61. We're going into 61.
Jesus Christ. What are we, high?
God. Even so. Math.
I'm intrigued by the XFL, though.
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm going to watch it. I'm a football nut.
I'm more curious this time than I was last time.
But
I think Vince has got a chance to get it
We were kids
right.
last time,
Yeah, and I was a wrestling fan at the time, too.
Yeah, me too.
So I was really interested. But even I, as whatever I was, a 12-year-old kid, even I gave up after the first week of the XFL.
I want to see the nicknames on the back of the jerseys again.
No, don't do that. That's
Think about the names that would be on the back of the jerseys now. Ridiculous. There are rappers named Lil Uzi and Lil Pump. Could you imagine what the back of the jerseys would look like? He Hate Me was controversial for then.
Yeah, that's fair. I just want to see another Tommy Maddox. Tommy Maddox carved himself out a nice, an okay NFL career after the XFL, right?
Yep.
So did He Hate Me, Rod Smart. He was in the NFL as the kick returner for a little while with the Panthers.
Yeah,
couple guys.
Yeah.
Tommy Maddox probably the most impressive.
Yeah, Tommy Maddox for sure was the most impressive.
He was the best. He was the best player in the league.
Wasn't a bad football player. Took over for that Steelers team.
Yeah, until he lost his job to a rookie that went on to win 2 Super Bowls.
I'd say it worked out for them.
It was okay. Oh, by the way, my buddy Brian sent me this. Did you see Dan Orlovsky?
Yeah, breaking down film.
No, not that. With regards to the XFL.
No.
Dan Orlovsky got jokes, as my buddy Brian put it.
Oh yeah.
So he retweeted the announcement. And he goes, I'll only play if one of the things that we can do is, he said something to the effect of, only if one of the things that we can do is talk about the length of the end zone.
He wants 20 yards.
That's good. You can go play in Canada, Dan.
I saw a video of Dan Orlovsky breaking down.
Oh, he's a locker room guy.
Patriots defensive tape about Matt Patricia and what Matt Patricia
already making moves, by the way.
How smart he is and all this stuff. It's Dan Orlovsky breaking it to saying, they're going to get this, real smart coach, this, innovator. Because apparently Matt Patricia, from what I have read so far on Matt Patricia, his defense is going to be similar to Don Brown's defense at Michigan.
So he's going to give up a lot of big plays.
It's going to be a 4-3, but it's going to be a hybrid. They're going to have defensive tackles who can also play the end, that kind of stuff.
That's going to take a while. That's not going to happen tomorrow.
It depends how they draft, and it depends what they do in free agency. They're only one or two players away from playing that kind of style.
Geoff, it is so difficult to transfer from a 4-3 to a 3-4.
They're not going to a 3-4. They're going to be a 4-3 hybrid defense.
Yeah, but eventually.
I don't think eventually, because apparently the Patriots don't run that defense. They run a 4-3 hybrid defense.
I don't believe
the reason that I thought it was a 3-4 defense originally is because it's hybrid, because they'll bring a linebacker down and slide a D tackle over to the end. And so that makes it look like you have a linebacker on this side and 3 down linemen. That's, what I'm saying? But that's just a certain look that they'll use. It's not the look they use all the time. So, I don't know. We'll see. He might. This guy apparently is a defensive genius. Which he looks like right now.
Don't get me wrong. I will say this.
Shut down Leonard Fournette.
Even though I'm so jaded as a Lions fan to the point where I don't give a shit what they do till they win me something. I'm never going to believe in them until they win me something. That still hasn't changed. But what I can say is that my confidence in Matt Patricia, considering the way I feel about this team, is pretty high.
Yeah.
I'm still skeptical because I think that's just ingrained in me. Yeah. I just have to be that way in order to avoid getting hurt.
Yeah, you have to put up the walls.
It's like getting dumped by the same chick 5 times.
Yep.
It's
going to be better this time.
Show me that you've changed, bitch.
Yep. It's going to be better this time.
Yeah, it's way better. Get out of here.
It's definitely not better.
But Matt Patricia's already making moves, as you were saying.
Firing coaches. Coaches are jumping ship.
He didn't even have the job yet.
And coaches are talking to players at the Senior Bowl and telling them what kind of ways they would use them in their new defensive scheme.
It's very interesting.
It's very interesting.
What
intriguing.
What can a guy as smart as Matt Patricia? Because we know he's smart.
Yeah.
So we know he knows the game. We know that schematically, it's not going to be an issue.
No.
What we don't know yet is how well can Matt Patricia, combined with Bob Quinn, obviously, evaluate talent,
develop talent,
and how well can Matt Patricia lead a locker room? So there's still a lot of question marks. There's a lot to like.
There are intangibles. Definitely that we don't know about Matt Patricia. It's like
almost like watching a raw athlete. Like he's talented. Know how he's got that raw ability.
Yeah.
But does he have it mentally
put the mind
upstairs?
and body together?
Right. This is kind of the coaching equivalent of that.
Yeah.
Like we know the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
For what he can accomplish using his brain. It's everything else that goes into being a head coach. Because we've seen it before, right? We know guys that are, and those are the guys. These are the guys that end up being really, really good coordinators, but just can't be head coaches.
Yeah.
Is Matt Patricia one of those guys? Possibly.
Yeah.
He could be one of those guys.
And I think, okay, looking at this year, we were down on the team this year. They had very up and down year. And I think what we would say is 9-7, possibly with an opportunity to have one one or two more games. This isn't a year where, like a few years ago, where they were what they went 10-6.
Yeah,
and maybe it was 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. No, when they went 10-6 and then went to the playoffs, and they had all those comeback victories.
that was last year.
Yeah, where you could say, oh yeah, they get killed by Seattle.
Yep.
You could say that, yeah, any one of those games they won could have went the other way. This year wasn't a season kind of like that. The games weren't, it wasn't Matthew Stafford putting the team on the back every game.
It was kind of the opposite, because last year there seemed to be a lot of magic pixie dust.
That's what I mean.
And this year, the Lions, they were, and I mean this wholeheartedly, just like I did when I said it back then. The Lions were legitimately a good football team for 4 weeks this year.
Yeah.
They really were. A really good football team.
Yeah, they were.
And then they showed their ass.
Well, they were more of a complete team. The offensive line was healthy, except without Taylor Decker. But then once the second domino fell in that offensive line,
and Haloti Ngata went down.
Then Haloti Ngata went down. It all went to hell.
And that's what you hope Matt Patricia can avoid, because that's my issue. Yes, I understand that injuries affect teams. Of course they do. But great coaches, great GMs find a way to have enough depth to supplement and still make a team pretty good.
Yeah.
You don't think the New England Patriots have ever had injuries, and yet they're always there. I understand. Tom Brady aside, I get it. I get it. The Lions don't have fucking Tom Brady. I'm not saying that the Lions would ever be the Patriots. But good football teams find a way to supplement for those injury losses. So I don't like when injuries are used as an excuse.
Yeah.
I've never liked that.
Me neither.
Because teams find a way to do it anyway, to at least stay afloat and give themselves an opportunity. And the Lions haven't done that. And can Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn together do that? Because I think that's the difference between a below-average team and a very good team. It's just simply being able to evaluate talent enough to have depth.
Yeah. Well, not only that, I think Patricia is going to be in a position where this isn't rebuild time. This is, you can win now. You make the right moves.
Maybe not right now, but within a year or two.
You could go to the playoffs next year.
Oh, sure, you can go to the playoffs.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what we're talking about here, right? We're not talking about we won 4 games this year. Hopefully Patricia can get us to 7 to 9 wins. We're talking about you went 9-7. Let's
get to 11.
You have a franchise quarterback. Let's get you 11 and win a division. This isn't some sort of a start over. This is I'm coming in. I can win now, and while I'm winning, we might not go to a Super Bowl, but we might build a team to go to a Super Bowl, and it won't take that long because I'm already at 9-7. I just got to get 2-3 more wins, win a division, get into the playoffs with a home field advantage, and I might make a run. Look at the Eagles with a rookie quarterback and then Nick Foles, bipolar Nick Foles.
He really is. He looks like a Hall of Famer one week.
That guy is out here slinging it. He's on fire against a great defense in Minnesota. That was incredible. It was incredible. And Blake Bortles came back to being Blake Bortles.
In the second half.
Yeah, because they go, no more play action.
Yeah.
They shut down the run, and now Blake Bortles can throw play action in the second half, and he was screwed. Patricia was like, figured you out. And then he's making Blake Bortles throws, underthrowing them. That Stephon Gilmore, he was up in the air for 10 minutes waiting for that ball to come down. He batted it.
I think, but I do. Jacksonville also did go into a shell. They really did in the second half of that game.
A little bit, but it was forced by the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots go not running the ball, not running the ball at all in the second half, and they just shut them down. And they couldn't run the ball. They couldn't run that play action that was giving Blake Bortles so much time.
Why? What was different? When it comes to running the ball, it's one of the more simple concepts in football. Especially when you're dealing with a back like Fournette that's big, he's pretty much going to just take it up the middle every time.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is they had plays, and they had an offense that was geared to, with Doug Marrone, to confuse the Patriots. And it worked. And they powered, too. They were like, we're big and we're strong. And guess what? They showed their hand in the first half. They blew their load, and that was it. Patricia's like, oh, I figured you all out at halftime. No more running the ball. No more play action. Blake Bortles was screwed. Blake Bortles looked like a Pro Bowler in the first half.
Simple enough.
Couldn't miss a pass.
It sounds more simple than it is, but I mean, if you're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, probably
Blake Bortles beat you.
You're going to make Blake Bortles beat you.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they did. In the first half, they kind of played it both ways a little bit.
Could he? I mean, I'm serious. I want to get your opinion on this. Could Blake Bortles could he be out of a job next year?
Not next year, but in the next 3 years, yes.
Could you? But okay, all right. So let me take it one step further. Could you see Blake Bortles, because he got to an AFC Championship game through mostly no help from him until the playoffs? He was pretty good in the playoffs.
He played great for Blake Bortles.
He played okay. He was much improved in the regular season, I would say. Yeah. For one reason. He stopped turning the ball over quite as much.
Yeah, he was more efficient.
But could you see Blake Bortles on a short leash next year at least? If he's going to be, if he goes out there and has three poor games.
I can, but with a condition, they need a quarterback.
Well, sure, they got to find somebody.
They're not going to do that with Henny.
No, not anymore.
So it's contingent on whether they have a quarterback that can play.
Then that should tell you everything you need to know. You'll know if Jacksonville goes out and signs a guy, or Jacksonville drafts a guy.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that. Maybe they draft a late round quarterback, but I just don't see them spending any kind of high pick.
Maybe they go sign Johnny Manziel.
I mean, they're so loaded on both sides of the ball that in the draft they're going to be able to take luxury picks. I don't think one of them is going to be a quarterback. They're probably going to try to replace Mercedes Lewis soon. He's like 100 years old.
But wait a minute. Yeah, I was going to say, why couldn't one of them be a quarterback? Because we know they're set on defense. Like Jacksonville, I think their defense in a lot of ways there's a chance that it could be wasted by what's going on offense. Because I'm not ready to say that Jacksonville's defense as currently assembled is up there with those once-in-a-generation defenses like the 2002 Bucks or the 2000 Ravens or 85 Bears, those once-in-a-generation defenses. But if there's a defense in the league right now that I think's got a potential to be one of those defenses one of these years, I would say it's Jacksonville.
Oh, and soon, too, because they're so young, they're so good and they're so young that they're only going to get better as a group if you can keep them together. But you also have guys like Marcel Darius on that defense and just got like veteran, great players.
Plus, you've got the running game.
But on offense, I could imagine them going out and getting a wide receiver in with their very first pick. I could imagine. I mean, they have good running backs. They have Chris Ivory.
Good offensive line.
I could see them taking an offensive lineman really high. Or a tight end, like a good pass catching tight end, like the best tight end in the draft type deal.
But still, I mean, a quarterback in the second or third
possibly
round. I mean,
it's a little bit of a luxury pick, but yeah, take
a chance on it.
Yep.
You made it to the AFC title game,
and I really, and speaking of the draft, I really like what I'm seeing out of the Senior Bowl with some of the guys, like Maurice Hurst.
Lions at 20. I'm all in on Darius, guys. I just want to make that clear for the record. Yeah. I'm all in on Darius.
Personally,
guys,
I think they're probably. I mean, we're so far away. 5 months or whatever it is, 4 months. But I like that they're talking to like Deshaun Hand, the defensive tackle out of Alabama, which is a guy that I watched get recruited out of high school because he was the number one player in the country, I believe. Or maybe just the number one defensive player in the country, but he was Michigan or Alabama, and he went Alabama. And worked out for him, won himself a championship a couple times, but
surprise.
Yeah, so
basically if you go to Alabama, you're guaranteed at least one title.
He's a monster that can move around a little bit on the defensive line. I really think they're either going to spend that pick on a running back or a defensive lineman. I don't think they're going to go O-line in the draft.
I think it's never been more obvious that it's got to be one of those two spots.
Yeah.
It's got to be somebody in the backfield. But here's the thing. I may be all in on Darius Geis at 20, but at the same time, I would completely understand why they wouldn't use that pick on a running back.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, I don't know how this happened.
There's like 6 good running backs.
All of a sudden, there are
It's another really good running back class.
A month ago, this running back class was not that good. What the fuck changed?
It was what? Nick Chubb, Geis,
obviously Barkley. But Sonny Michel's stock has risen for sure.
He's going to be a good player, I think.
I mean, and this is with what's his nuts out of Stanford, Love, taking himself out of the running.
Yeah,
and somehow this class is still getting a little bit better.
There's a couple more guys that are coming out. I'm pretty sure. I can't think of them off the top of my head. Don't have my computer on me.
It shows that we don't know.
Died.
We don't know shit.
I'm not in draft mode yet, man. I'm going to be in draft.
Oh, I am. I don't give a shit about the Super Bowl.
I'll probably be in draft mode in right like early, like March. That's like right when I get ready for baseball too.
I'm in
draft in baseball.
I'm in draft mode because I don't care about the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What will you guys give me if I actually don't watch the Super Bowl?
Nothing. Why would I give you anything? I mean, I'm going to watch it. Obviously, I'm going to be rooting for Touchdown Tom and the New England Patriots.
I know you are.
And our future head coach.
Yeah.
And our future head coach of the Detroit Lions. Yours and I's.
But he's not the coach yet.
You guys get a room.
He's not the coach yet, so I don't care.
He is the coach. What do you mean he's not the coach?
He's not the coach. He's still the defensive coordinator of the New England Patriots. But he's also
the coach.
No, he's not.
He's a dual position guy now.
Has he signed a contract?
Huh? No, he doesn't have to. He's already firing people. He's already firing people and having coaches tell his defensive game plan to recruits out of college.
Okay.
It's interesting.
He's not the coach. He's not officially the coach yet.
No,
so
he's not.
I can still hate him.
That'll be the press conference day will be fun.
I still want to know if he's going to have that beard.
I really hope he keeps the beard.
I hope he does too.
I think he might shave it if he wins the Super Bowl.
I want him to be exactly who he is.
Yeah.
I want the backwards hat.
Yeah.
I want the beard.
I want the pencil and the laminate.
Everything. I want all of it.
Don't change anything because it's working.
I want all of it. Everything about it. I don't know. I don't want him to start manscaping if he doesn't do that already.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing now, bring it along.
Before we end the show, I also saw the news about Paul Pasquale, the rumored defensive coordinator for Matt Patricia.
He's got a restaurant over here on Woodward.
He is the most boring candidate ever. He's boring as a candidate. He's boring as a man. I looked him up. I listened to a couple videos to see how he talks about football.
Again.
But he's just I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
My toolbar for some reason just switches screens on me.
I know. Mine does that at work. It's not uncommon.
But I don't know how to get it back.
I don't know how to get it back either. But not on yours at least.
Something about Pasquale.
But he's just unexciting. I mean, it's just something that I was hoping that we'd get somebody we might know. Or somebody from I would like him to bring like a Patriots defensive coach. Someone who works with him now, who knows the scheme he runs now.
Well, yeah, but coordinators are allowed to be boring. They don't have to talk to the media near as much.
No, but like somebody who hasn't had a lot of success as a coordinator in the NFL, who's bumped around and is like the defensive line coach at Boston College. How exciting is that? You're not even getting like a college defensive coordinator.
Well, wait a minute. Doesn't that kind of remind you of another coach that's won a significant amount of Super Bowls that Matt Patricia currently works for?
That's true. But
just nobody's. But Belichick's always brought in nobody.
Yeah, but he's bringing in guys that he's grooming himself. He's not only developing talent; he's developing coaches. Right? He's doing it all. And I wouldn't want him to bring some old guy that he's like, is one of his mentors or something. It's like,
Who, Belichick?
No, Patricia, because this guy's older than Patricia. It's like,
I got you.
You're bringing in like your mentor, like it's like the Karate Kid making Mr. Miyagi his defensive coordinator. This is stupid.
Well, I mean, if you saw the end of the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi basically was
his defensive coordinator
because he won with an illegal kick.
Yeah, I just like him. I just like to see them go. Go sign Dick LeBeau.
He's 100.
I know, but he's gone out of the Titans. He's blown out.
Whatever.
Why not? Bring back the legend. The man, the myth, the legend, Dick LeBeau.
But that's the thing. When it comes to defensive coordinators, I mean, that's his deal. I'd be more interested to see the offensive coordinator spot.
Yeah, it's going to be Patricia as your defensive coordinator, really. But
it's gonna be the other guy's just gonna be a figurehead. What did you think of Andre Drummond's tweet? By the way,
what tweet
about the All-Star snub?
He doesn't deserve to be in the All-Star game.
That wasn't my question, but okay. I just wanted to know what you thought about his tweet. But since you moved right on to that, you just skipped through all the bullshit.
Who cares about the tweet?
all the stupid 1980s radio setup that I was trying to do.
Yeah.
I mean, based on his numbers, he kind of does deserve to be in the All-Star game. He does.
He's in a line of delineation with those other guys that are just like, those other guys are better than you.
I don't really care about that. I don't really care that he got snubbed in general. My whole thing was more about the tweet because what it taught me was everything that I need to know about Andre Drummond.
Yeah, he's a petty bitch.
And okay, so hold on. Let's switch back to the other side. We're gonna go back and forth. It's like a choose your own adventure.
All right, page 69.
So when it comes to whether or not Andre Drummond was snubbed, if the Pistons were in the 4th seed right now in the East, would you still say he didn't deserve to go?
No, I just don't think he deserves to go. I mean, his numbers are. I mean, maybe.
So you would say that he deserves to go?
It's more of like I believe his numbers are hollow and empty.
You just described Matthew Stafford in a nutshell.
And basketball is more of an individual game. It's a little bit different.
Okay.
20 rebounds against the New York Knicks. Ooh, impressive. Like, who gives a fuck, man? You both suck.
They've beaten some good teams, though.
Yeah, like fucking 2 months ago.
They beat Golden State on the road.
How fun was that? In November. It's fucking February.
Believe me, I'm not here to defend the Detroit Pistons.
No, all of January, they just took a giant dump right in that brand new arena that we know and love.
I haven't been there yet.
I haven't been there yet either.
I don't really
but
care.
We know it and we love it.
I don't know that I love it.
You're going to love it. I drove by there and I was wowed. It was crazy. I was like, wow, this place is shiny. There's a lot of bright lights around here.
You could, okay. Basically, the sentiment here is if Andre's not a childish bitch and brings it every night.
Thank you.
Maybe he's an all-star.
Yeah. Maybe he's an all-star, doesn't have to bitch about getting snubbed.
Because he doesn't bring it every night.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, I do love the free throw improvement.
Well, that's nice.
Good job.
If it was helping us win.
Good job. Now, officially, maybe Andre Drummond can actually be a better free throw shooter than me.
Yeah, possibly. maybe not. Doubt it.
I can make 7 out of 10. I can walk out on the court right now and make 7 out of 10. And I haven't shot a free throw in well over a year. And I can make 7 out of 10.
In an arena with 15,000 people in it?
No, out here on the in the park court over there.
We're talking two different things here, man.
But I would be curious to know if okay, so if you bring Andre Drummond,
they say that in practice he knocks them down like crazy.
Okay,
they've been saying that for years, even when he was bad. It's just whatever he gets to the game, it's just terrible.
I get it, but it's still the most basic thing in basketball.
It is.
It's the most
fundamentals.
But is free throw shooting like maybe closer to golf? Like where golf is such a mental game.
Yeah, definitely. It's the closest thing in basketball. Think about like a fast break. You don't have time to think.
Yeah.
You're just reacting with whatever you see in your brain tells you to do.
Spin, you see the rim, you just throw it down.
Yeah, something crazy, man. You behind the back pass it, and then he dunks it. It's sweet, man.
Spot up jumper.
But yeah, no, with you're staring down the rim. Everybody's looking at you. Yeah. A lot of guys are rhythmic with jump shots. There's no jumping. You know. That's all I got to say about that.
That's my heartbeat impression.
That was subpar.
It was okay. I'd be curious to go back and listen.
Yeah, we'll find out tomorrow, now, won't
we? How was Dan's heartbeat impression? 248. We have anything else? Wilton Spate might be back if what's his nuts doesn't get his transfer. Shea Patterson? Is that the name?
He's going to get his transfer. He's just not going to get his eligibility.
His eligibility through the transfer.
Oh, God. That would be
if he's got to sit out.
I'd much rather watch Dylan McCaffrey play than either Brandon Peters or Wilton Spate.
I have no expectation.
Wilton Spate is the last resort.
I'd rather see Wilton Spate over Brandon Peters.
Probably. He's probably if he might be the best quarterback on that roster.
The quarterback guru can't find a quarterback.
We'll see.
I'm not going to stop saying it.
We won't find out till Notre Dame. Fuck.
What's that? Week 4, 3?
1.
They're playing them the first week of the season?
I think they kick them off, Notre Dame.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Now I know that.
At night.
That's never... I don't know. That bothers me a little bit.
What?
That shouldn't be the first game of the year.
I'm pretty sure it is.
No, I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying it shouldn't be.
I think it's an awesome time to have that game as the first game of the year. Kick off the season that way. Played Florida the first game of the year this year. Why not?
It's not a traditional rival.
No, you're right. But it's going to be at night.
Fair enough. All right. We got to terminate this podcast. I guess we don't have to, but we're just going to.
Yeah.
Not much more to talk about.
No, nothing that's interesting.
You've been listening. Out of Bounds Detroit Sports, absentee David Faze, who we're going to be getting a blow-up doll for, Geoff Mell, and myself, Dan Griffin. SportsRadioDetroit.com. We are out of here.